Move, Louis. Here. Boy. He's a good doggy. He's a good doggy. Hi everyone. Thank you for coming. I've written a poetry book called Reality Absentee. It's about a journey through part of my life which I had to go on unknowing and unwillingly, and it was out of my control. It was something that I had to find a pathway out of on my own. I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I just knew that something was going on that I didn't understand, and it's taken me 12 years to find a place accepting the illness that I've been diagnosed with, which, by the way, is psychotic schizophrenia, which sounds bad, and believe you me, it sounds bad, but to live with it and not know what it is that's destroying your mind is a lot scarier. I'm going to crack on and read you the first chapter of my poetry book. I hope you enjoy listening to it, and thank you for coming. The first poem is called Reality Absentee. I've been wearing an invisible straitjacket from way back when I was young, unable to communicate fully when I talk to anyone. I always admired people whose hands dance across their faces, arms moving all about, gesturing to invisible places. A whole world of communication that I somehow never learned, therefore at no time understanding a language that I yearned. As the years went by, people drifted far from me, thinking I was stupid, a reality absentee. So that poem describes, the book starts with an introduction into how I came to have the condition. And I think as a child growing up emotionally neglected, as well as, you know, I had mum and dad, I had 3 brothers, but I spent my whole childhood on my own. I can't remember my mum in my childhood apart from telling us to go away and things like that. So I think that impacted on my life. They do say that childhood trauma can cause psychotic schizophrenia to unravel in later life. For boys, it's in teenagers, a lot earlier, and for women, late 20s, early 30s. Now, I was 29 when I had my daughter, and that's when it started for me. That's when the full signs and hallucinations and the psychosis all unraveled itself at that point in time when my children were born. And Noah, my son was born 3 years after her, and then that was the biggest downward spiral that I went through. And the next poem is called You Stood There. And I was suffering, not knowing what was going on in my head, trying to bring up my 2 babies. Well, might have just been Poppy actually. And things were going into my mind, horrible things, horrible dark things, you know, that you wouldn't even think of in day-to-day life. They were there, and I didn't know why they were there. I didn't know if something had happened to me in a past where I couldn't remember. And I went to this person and I asked her a question which she should have answered no. She should have just said, no, but she didn't. And because she didn't, it triggered a waterfall of negative, bad thoughts. It gave freedom to my thoughts, to have a belief that they were real, what I was thinking was real, because she didn't say no, and she should have said no. So this next poem is called You Stood There. You stood there looking at me when my world was full of fear, my demons voicing questions they wanted you to hear. You heard the words, they made you smile. I look back now and know you're vile. The demons rose, they ate your lies, blocking hope, silencing cries. The doubt was sown, the anger raged, the beast within no longer caged. No, every thought a twisted curse. Was my escape within a hearse? My mind it raced through every sin. There was no escape, I couldn't win. The claws that ripped from inside out everything that had made me sound. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I checked the wardrobe for strangers' feet. Under beds and inside cupboards, were they there to give me shudders? So I thought people were hiding in the places mentioned in the poems, and were there waiting for me to sleep so that they could rape my daughter. That's how bad the thoughts in my mind were. And I thought they were real. I thought that if I went to sleep, that's what would happen. And I couldn't sleep. It was awful. It was such an awful time. And this isn't something that happened one night or 2 nights. This went on for months and years. Like every day, every night. And I couldn't take medication because I thought that was a trick to trick me to go to sleep so that bad things could happen that I thought were going to happen. And it was horrifying, terrifying time in my life. So the next poem is another poem about how I thought that people got into my house. It went from, like you think, why would somebody be hiding in a cupboard? You'd know that they came in, right? You'd know that they come through the door, you'd see them, but my mind was telling me that's not how they didn't come in through the door. They came in through objects, that by some sort of magic, I guess, they came in through objects that people had given me throughout my life. And I was a young mum. I didn't have much money, so a lot of my furniture, a lot of things, gifts and things that people had given me. So most things in my house were given to me by somebody, and my mind was telling me that those things, that those people could access my house when I was asleep and do the horrifying things that my mind was telling me that they did. This one's called Portkeys. My uncle's in the cupboard, my brother's in the shoe. My mother's in the saucepan, where are you? My dad is in the trinket, balanced on the shelf. My cousin's laughing at me, dressed up as a Christmas elf. Sally's in the paper bin, Johnny's in the drawer. Billy's pacing up and down on the kitchen floor. There's fingers in the cutlery, and elbows in the mugs. Dark rings, scary eyes peeping from the jugs. Every single item I have within my house was given to me by someone trying to help me out. The people here have tricked me. I've been letting them inside. They're in the fabric of the walls. Everywhere they hide. I didn't know. I tried to stop. The only way, but still they all came in. The only way to get them out is to chuck stuff in the bin. The bin's too small. I have a van. I'll take them somewhere else. Free myself from all this stress. It feels like living hell. The next poem is called Russell, and it's along the same lines as the last one, really. People hiding in my house, waiting for me to go to sleep. Russell, I can hear your clothes rustling from underneath the bed. I'm not sure if all this noise is coming from my head. No one else can see you. I think I'm going mad. If kids had these nightmares, they'd be comforted by mum or dad. I'm all grown up, and voices tell me everyone is bad. Just me and my 2 children in a crumbling world of sad. We'll wake up I tell myself tomorrow, we'll wake up somewhere new, where all these evil people have no place near me or you. So that was the start. That was what was going on in my head. It progressed to voices in my mind telling me whether something was the right colour, whether something was the right shape, whether something was the right smell, whether every single thing, every single visual thing your eyes, my eyes, could see meant something, and none of it was good. Nothing meant any good. I wasn't. I might be safe. You think, oh, I'll wear a red jumper today. I'm going to be safe because nothing can get me. It's protecting me. So I was searching for colours and objects and words and things to use as barriers against what was going on in my head. And sometimes I might get an hour in the day or 5 minutes sometimes where I would not have all this noise in my mind, all these voices and everything. But most of the time they were there telling me to do stuff and bringing me down into the depths of mental illness. This one's called Eye to Eye. The demons say don't look their way or meet them eye to eye. If I get too close, just look up to the sky. Trust us, we will guide you to your destiny. Keep you safe, just listen to us. We'll look after you, you see. What the hell? This is madness. I can't believe my ears. How am I supposed to know who whispers me these fears? You'll know, they speak. We'll warn you. We'll make your body sweat. Don't you dare ignore us. We haven't finished with you yet. I look in the mirror at a face that isn't mine. The eyes in my reflection, so far from being fine. Where have I gone? I've been possessed. My eyes don't see the truth. I guess I'll find the answers if I become my mental sleuth. Yeah. I didn't want to... I knew something was wrong. I definitely knew something was wrong. And I had to figure out a way that I could beat the demons. If people were coming into my house when I was trying to sleep, or what could I do? What could I do to stop that? The sanest part of my mind was telling me that this is bollocks. This is not true. But when you've got 1% of your brain telling you it's not true, and 99% of your brain telling you that it is true, it's difficult to rationalise. But I did know one thing. I did know that I could try and stop it. So if I became my mental sleuth and I tried to out-trick the demons, if I was clever enough, I might be able to do it. So I decided to let the voices guide me in knowing what was good or bad. This next poem is called Labels, and it just goes through a day, just one of the days of my life at that time. So, my world was once so quiet I couldn't hear the voices that now shout at me so loudly, controlling all my choices. I don't know how to listen to every single one, contradicting one another, confiscating all my fun, managing my eating, the clothing that I wear, taking away my heating, messing up my hair. Every day is different, I can't understand the meaning. I'm not sure whose laws I seem to be contravening. I'll try and sort the clothes today by checking all the labels. If they give me positive vibes, I'll put them on the table. I've dragged out all the clothes. They're strewn over the floor. I feel alarm bells ringing and know this is no chore. Speaking loud and clear, knowing that I'm listening, my brain pulsates from ear to ear. Colours, shapes and pictures swim madly in my head. Letters, words and symbols fill my soul with dread. I can't decide what colour will keep me safe from harm. I can't decide which word will help my brain feel calm. Fine, I'll try the pictures, no? The letters, no? The symbols. My brain is screaming freely, my body covered in goose pimples. 1 second feels like hours as my mind tries to make relation, searching for a safe place in my mental situation. The day is long, I've thrown out every single item. I look up to the heavens, my gut begins to tighten. So this is the part of the journey where I can't win. There is no safe colour, there is no safe place, there is no safe word, there's nothing that I've got is gonna keep me safe. Nothing. And you know, I could feed the children and look after the children and they helped me pack the clothes into boxes, you know. Poppy, she was 3 when I was chucking stuff out, you know. So it was a sad time, really sad time to exist in such a state of mind that I did. The next poem is called Colours, and again it's going down that path of how to make decisions about things. I can beat these demons, you know. Every day is a shit day, every day is really hard, but I'm going to do this, I'm going to beat these demons. Everything that they're telling me is true, fine. If everything they tell me is true, then I'm going to do the opposite and find out how I can get rid of them, how I can get these people out of my house that I don't want in my house, or in my mind, really. Then this one's called Colours. Today my mind is telling me there is rules for yes and no. The clues are in the colours. My fragile mind feels low. As I heave myself up, I think of my day ahead. Can I make the choices? My limbs feel like they're lead. First I throw the bread out, the label tells me to, it's yellow. Then I find some tea bags and the mushrooms start to bellow. Right, I think I've got this. I'll go through every packet. Throw things in the bin that have a yellow jacket. My morning's gone, the bowl is full. I need a cup of tea. I've thrown out all the tea bags. Birdie crazy me. I take the jar of coffee, the label is bright red. The warning bells are ringing from deep inside my head. The process I just finished is starting up again. I find an empty bin bag. I know this is insane. From dawn to dusk the colours scream, the bin bag rolls now empty. Red, lime green, yellow and magenta. Thank God there wasn't 20. 4 colours took me all day to make my kitchen bare. I sit down on the sofa and slowly start to stare. The books, the toys, the pictures, the CDs on the shelf, the colours on them calling me. Is this real? I ask myself. A voice comes back. Of course it is. We will strip you bare of everything you own, the possessions in your care. As I listen carefully, I realise the rule applies to every colour, not just the 4 I thought of. I feel my skin tone getting duller. Is this a dream? I ask myself. I haven't got a clue. I need to wake myself up. I don't know what to do. Days go by of sorting, maybe weeks, I cannot tell. As my eyes fill up with tears, I think I must be here in hell. Exhausted, tired and hungry, I clasp my face into my hands. If you kill yourself in dreams, do you wake up in safer lands? Yeah. It took me 9 days, actually, to completely empty my house, our house. And I had a T4 van and just filled it with stuff. I had a brand new washing machine, you know, get it in the van, take it down the tip, chuck it in the tip, brand new, £300 worth of washing machine, just throw it in the bin. Because my mum and dad bought it for me, someone bought it for me. And that's how it went, you know, took the kids' toys. Oh, they were Christmas presents from so-and-so, they were this, they were that, chuck them away. You know, I made it into a game. Well, we'll get it all back, we'll get all new stuff, it's fine. We just got to do this now, we just got to have a clear out, we're just going to make it, you know, all the bullshit that you tell to try and make everything that's really not okay, make it okay. And so I threw everything away, because then if I didn't have anything in the house that then nothing could come into my house to hurt me or the children when I was asleep, remember? So I thought I'd won then. I'd beaten the demons in my mind, because if they were telling me there were people coming into my house when I was asleep at night and doing awful things to us all, then if I get rid of all this everything, no one can come in. And if they do, it'll be through the door and I'll know that they're there. So at that point in my illness, I thought I was going to win. So this next poem is about that point where I felt the scales tipping to maybe a slightly more positive journey then, out of the whole darkness that had engulfed me. So this one's called Tomorrow. Tomorrow's here. I feel the dread, my apprehension ripping. I drag myself from the bed, the demons call, I'm dripping. I must clothe and feed and care for my babies oh so young. I won't let mental illness take them from their mum. Suddenly the door bangs, the bubble round me bursts. Fear tears at me with sharp fangs, my thoughts turning to the worst. Two shadows move behind the pane, I know I'm being tested. Who are they? Why are they here? Am I going to get arrested? My home is bare, no knickknacks, no furniture or toys. One sofa and one mattress, my head so full of noise. A loud, sharp voice inside me screams, "You have to let them in!" I need a grip on my story. It's the only way I'll win. I can't tell them about portkeys or people hiding under beds, or demons running wild, tearing my thoughts into shreds. I abruptly realise the sight they would behold. I don't know if I can do this. I feel my skin turning cold. My cold, wet hand reaches out and shaking grips the handle. Opening the front door feels like blowing out the candle. Two faces looking at me, questioning my name. In another world I know them, in a world where I was sane. Both professional doctors, weathered in their field, their calm eyes looking at me, help me hold my shield. Could we look around, please? They delicately tread around difficult conversation, never losing eye contact, incredible at their station. We go upstairs, they need to see to analyse a conclusion of the world I have created through psychological confusion. The demons scream my worst fears. They're here to rape the children. Holding back the tears, my mind screams back, "Get them out the building!" One of them asks me to undress them. I panic, I can't say no. I feel sick and need to scream, "Don't do this, please, no!" With every inch of sanity, I calmly do as I've been told. My baby in her nappy, I worry that she's cold. A gentle voice stops me. "We can see that she's okay. We need to check your little boy, then we'll be on our way." Calmly swoops upon me, I'm normal for a second. They must be here to help me. That is what I reckon. So that day was a turning point, because somehow, I don't know how, maybe my landlady, I don't know, someone alerted the doctors to come around and find out what was going on, because something obviously wasn't right. And once they knew, I felt that I could get better. A crisis team was set up. Social services came round, police came round, a lot of people from healthcare and they came round to try and help me get me back, find out what was going on. I had loads of questions asked to me, like just interrogated quite a bit, and they came round every day for 2 weeks non-stop to see if I was well enough to look after my children. Like the worst thing in my head was I was protecting these children from what was going on in my head, and I can't lose them. Like I can't let anybody out. They can't be taken off me. Like, it's not going to happen. So with every thread of strength that I had, when these people came round, I showed that I could. I cooked homemade soups and food for the children. Like, everything was home cooked. To try and show that I was well enough to feed, wash, and look after the children and keep them okay. I wasn't hurting them. I wasn't violent or anything like that. It was all inside, like inside my head. So this next poem, anyway, moving on. This next poem is, I could go outside. I should tell you that I didn't leave the house for apart from to take stuff to the tip. I didn't go anywhere for 6 months. We lived in this like little cottage which had 4 acres of land around it. We had a little pony in the field and cats and stuff, so I didn't have to see anybody. I sometimes saw my landlady. She might come over and see me, which was cool. So I was quite protected in a safe bubble, and I obviously had to go out to go shopping, but it wasn't like a normal shopping experience. So I'll read the poem and let you hear how a shopping trip kind of went for me. People push and shove me. They're trying to get by. They need to do their shopping, then go and cook a pie. I stand my ground, not rushing. No, I won't be pushed around. The shopping has got stuff to say. Can't you hear it scream and shout? The rice tells me about burgers. The chips tell me about the peas. The sugar that I'm buying chatters on about dog fleas. The coffee jar is pointing to the tea bags down below, whose lid has popped right open, putting its contents all on show. The mushrooms talk about dresses, and the ham is number 5, telling me I'm safe as he's keeping out an eye. The trolleys don't tell me don't go. There's water on the floor. Crisp packets shout names of people walking through the door. Others paint pictures of sparkly hula hoops. Women doing handstands, people gathering in groups. Everything's alive in here. I think I better go. I guess it's toast for tea again. Too many choices on show. So it's difficult even now sometimes to go to a supermarket because I get really confused with things, because although I'm heavily medicated to completely shut off anything, some stuff it was not completely shut off, because my memory doesn't erase the memory I have of seeing and feeling and knowing what I've lived through. So, and to me that reality is real. It's when you suffer from psychosis, the reality you see when you're not medicated is totally real. It's totally real. Like you're real sat here listening to me, it's as real as that. And so when I go shopping, sometimes it's difficult to choose a loaf of bread. I just have to close my eyes and that one will do. I'm not listening to any voices, I'm just going to do my shopping. So I survive every day now and it's fine. But little things, they're still kind of there in the shadows. This is the last poem I'm going to read to you today. If you would like to know the rest of the story, my book is available on Amazon. It's called Reality Absentee. And you can buy it on Amazon Kindle. Or there is some copies here for you if you would like to read the rest of the poems. So this last poem is called Warmth. I tread across the soft grass, my soul broken into shreds, torn apart by demons screaming, "We rape you in your beds!" So many days I battled, trying to stay sane, blocking out the voices, forever coming back again. Months were spent living in my homemade psycho ward, searching for little pieces, trying to find my lord. I thought life was made up of tiny little pieces, collected year by year as our age increases. I had to get a job, get a house and settle down. Follow life's written map, then happiness will be found. I didn't see the doorway that I must have stepped right through. No words of warning of the hell I was walking to. Didn't have a torch. I didn't have a guide. I didn't have any weapons or a place to hide. Stumbling in the darkness, fingers grappling with switches, running fast but standing still, hearing footsteps from the witches. Scrapings at the windows and scratching at the door, poking sticks through keyholes, casting spells across the floors. Not knowing if I'm dreaming or alive and wide awake. My precious world was crumbling from an enormous mind earthquake. I've tested all my boundaries, gone shopping with bare feet, thrown away my possessions, yet still I feel so weak. Things must be getting better as I'm standing in the sun. My neighbour's coming over. I don't feel the need to run. Thank you all for listening. Much appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your day and weekend and whatever you're up to. My name's Penny Spivey. My book's Reality Absentee. And thanks again. Bye.